Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we bring to you guys a very interesting video. Today we're going to show you guys how to transform nails into something beautiful. The reason I say transform is because her nails actually curve and we all have a natural curve, but she went to a different nail salon which they didn't care to fix that curve. There's ways to manipulate the nail acrylic and make it look where it's straight to where it doesn't curve. If you guys see, I'll show you guys in a little bit what I'm talking about, and I'm sure if you guys are nail techs already, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. If you guys would like to see this transformation, stay tuned. Again, if you are not subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like, share, and stay tuned for the transformation. So this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. As you guys can tell, I am showing you guys a side profile of her nails. They curve way too much, which is natural, normal. The only thing that we're going to do here is manipulate the way the nail grows with forms. And as you can tell, this was technically a fill and her nails bubbled up and peeled. So this is not a very good job. So we are going to go ahead and transform her nails and make them beautiful because that's what we do. So after showing you guys her profile nails, I'm going to go ahead and file off all the design and technically eliminate any lifted areas, which in this case, I don't think she should have any. Normally, I don't work over anybody else's work because we all know that sometimes they use different products. In this case, I already know that it's MMA, but I'm going to do an acrylic overlay fill, which is her natural nail. That's why it curves so much. One of them is actually a fake nail because she broke it, but we're gonna still do the same thing and process with the same as the other nails. We're gonna also try our best to reshape the nails and make them look like they're not her natural nails in a sense because she doesn't like them curved down. And we are gonna do some cute design, pretty simple. Normally I would also soak these off if I had the time. For now, we know that it's MMA, so we're not going to do that. I will speak a little bit more on MMA in another video so you guys know exactly what that is. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so I finished filing off the design of her left hand, which is where she has the fake nail and her overlay. I did show you guys earlier, well, I tried, but I'm going to show you guys right now how you guys can actually remove the natural curve a little bit with the drill. As you guys can tell, this is a fake nail and this is her overlay. I will typically form the nail just because it will give it a natural look compared to putting a tip on there. And as you guys can see, this is a very, very thin overlay. And I'm not a big fan of it because they did not balance it properly. As you guys can see here, she did have bubbles on her gel polish, which the reason this, actually you guys can see it here, there's a bubble right there and she topped it off, or she topped it off, and as you can tell, I can move around it. Naturally, this will come off eventually like it did on these two nails. To prevent this from happening, make sure you apply thin coats of your color every time you cure. And like I said, this has only been a week or so, and I am not happy with it. Of course, it is badly done, and I don't want to be mean or anything, but I will show you guys how to prevent all of this from happening. Now we're going to go ahead and remove her design carefully with our carbide coarse drill bit, and using your drill at a high speed, which is like 13K RPM, gently and carefully. Always make sure your nail is not heating up by touching it with your thumb. That's usually what I love to do. And then just look at it from the sides to see how curved it is. And if you wanted to remove the curve right then and there, you could. If not, you can wait until you can do it with a file. And we're just going to remove this, and I will be right back. So right now we already filed off the color and everything from her nails. As you guys can tell, the nails are pretty red, but that's only because her nails are pretty thin as far as the acrylic. She's not in pain. I made sure she wasn't hurting. What we're going to do right now is push back your cuticles with our cuticle pusher, also known as our magic wand. And then with our sanding band 180 fine grit, we're going to go ahead and file off and pretty much just lightly remove her natural nail shine, which I'll show you guys right now, and then also trim her cuticles. And we're going to trim, pretty much shape her nails, not trim them. She wants to keep the length. And let's see, with our fine sanding band, we're going to go around the cuticle. Like I said, always very careful. Try not to hurt your clients, and always touch the surface to make sure that her nail is not heated up. And all we're doing is removing the shine from her natural nail, which is very minimal because she, like I said, she just got them done, and just etching the rest of the nail to match with your natural nail. After this, we're going to go ahead and trim the cuticles carefully if need so. And then we're going to rebalance and shape the nail and transform these babies into some pretty shiny nails. So after trimming her cuticles, etching her surface and the natural nail, we're going to go ahead and shape the nail using our 180 grit file. And this is a half moon file. What we're going to do is from the side angle, we're going to go ahead and carefully pulling back her skin, and make sure you remove the harsh edges from your file with another file. So we're going to go ahead and shape it into a coffin shape. And just let your nail be straight. Don't curve it any other way. Just let it straight. And like I said, protect your client's skin by putting your finger there. And also yours, of course. Now we're going to go ahead and shape it into a coffin. And the narrowness of your nail determines the width of your free edge. If it's a thin free edge, you can also go as narrow as you can, but also the longer the nails, the more narrow you can go. That's one thing that a lot of clients don't understand, and they need to, because they want to go super narrow. But if your free edge is wide, we can only go to a certain extent unless they're super long. And we're going to go ahead and do the same to this one. Since this one is fake nail, we're going to shape them into a coffin. And these are obviously not all the same shape, which we were going to go ahead and fix anyways with our forms and afterwards. Now, same thing with this. We're going to go ahead and file the bottom to where the curve of her natural nail eliminates slowly. And you're going to start to see when you go to the side, it's slowly fading away. But we're also going to fix it when we're forming the nail in a little bit. And this one's a little bit more, so you don't really have to worry about it. I'm just shaping the nail right now, but when it comes to building the nail, you're going to see what I'm going to do, to where you don't need to really do this too much. Just make sure it's narrow. We're just building the foundation, fixing the foundation before we build it. And it's super thin, so be very gentle with their natural nail. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how we're going to transform her natural curve into a semi-straight nail or balanced nail. We're going to go ahead and use nail forms for this method. And I'm going to show you guys right here how her nails are, like I did earlier. We're going to go ahead and use our nail form, and this is personal preference. Whichever nail forms you like, I'm going to show you guys how to position them to create that illusion of a straight nail. So instead of going them down like this to where her natural nail goes, we're going to go ahead and kind of point it up so it can make sure it's straight. As you guys can see right here, just a little bit goes a long way, and make sure there's no space in between the form and the natural nail. So we're gonna do that to all of the nails except for the fake one, because of course that one is fake, and we're just gonna balance that one out. So the curvier the nail, the more of a point you're gonna have to go. As you guys can see right there, it's already going up. And I'll show you guys right now how that's gonna affect the index finger, which is the one that curves the most. And like I said, this is a normal natural nail thing. So as you guys can see, the curvature in her natural nail is extensive. We're gonna go ahead and, if we were to put the form the way her natural nail grows, which is naturally what we do, it's gonna continue to curve down. So a little tip is keeping the nail this way. And I know this is kind of different and weird, but you're gonna see why we did this. And look how I did it right there. We're gonna build the nail straight, and it's gonna be thick, but it's gonna give it an illusion of a straight nail eventually. So make sure they're all straight, and same goes with the thumb. Just like that. Now we're gonna go ahead and fill the nails. After applying the forms properly on her natural nail, we're gonna go ahead and dehydrate, prime, and rebalance her nails. And I'm gonna show you guys in a little bit how I actually do this to where her natural nail doesn't interfere with the form. And it's gonna be just little tips and tricks on how to avoid doing so. So I did the thumb and the pinky only because those were very minimal curves. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I do the fake nail, which is pretty basic. You guys already know how to rebalance a nail. And I'm gonna try and do a 1 bead method. You can always do 2, as many as you want. And just make sure that you allow the acrylic to self-level. This is pretty easy, and if you let the acrylic do its own job, it makes it easier for you. Of course, if the acrylic you're using is self-leveling. And then I'm just using the belly of my brush to pretty much form the nail. And I'm going to show you guys a side view of this in a little bit, just so you guys can see what I mean by a balanced nail, and the free edge being the apex area having a little more acrylic and a balance rather than being super flat. So that was 1 to 2 beads, and then I'm just gonna apply another one. And then we're already looking at a really good balanced nail. Like I said, look at them from every angle always to see the thickness, the shape, and the foundation of your nail. Like I always mention, when you shape your nail as you're building it, it makes and eliminates the time of filing. So that's always a tip, to shape your nails as you're building it to eliminate and time filing. Now this one is curved. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna do here so you guys can see the curve on it. We're gonna grab a bead, and a pretty medium-sized bead. We're gonna eliminate a lot of the monomer, apply the bead on the free edge, and then just let it sit for a little bit and pretty much form, and drag a little bit of the acrylic towards the cuticle area. Now we're gonna go ahead and build the nail like we would normally when we form nails. And I'm gonna show you guys in a little bit once I build this. Take your time, don't rush, because this does take some time if you want it to look nice and well balanced, especially dealing with a natural nail curve. We're trying to eliminate that look and have an illusion of a straight nail or more of a balanced nail. So let's make sure we do that properly. And always look at the views from all angles to make sure you're laying the acrylic nicely. And I'm always using the brush, the belly of my brush to form the nail, like you guys can tell. I'm going to show you guys a view right now and see it's already changing the curve of the natural nail. Now we're going to go ahead and add another bead right in the apex area and go towards the cuticle very gently. And then just drag the rest and the excess off. And the last bead we're going to do is at the cuticle, going towards the free edge. And it looks thick right now, but that's going to be okay once we file it. And the reason why it looks thick is because we're pretty much filling the gap between the curve and the natural nail. So we're just going to add a good size, pretty much a small to medium bead on the cuticle area very carefully, then drag it towards the free edge. And like I said, the nail might look a little thick for you guys, but there's a reason for that. And don't be scared. Tell your clients to not be scared. They're not going to be that thick. And if you feel like it needs a little bit more, then you can go ahead and add a little bit where it does. It's going to come together once we file them. So we're already kind of getting somewhere with all the nails. Now for this one, which is the one that curves the most, we're going to go ahead and grab a bead just like we did earlier. And same thing, grab a good sized bead. Make sure you take the monomer off a little bit, just a little bit on your towel. Add the acrylic on the free edge and just let it sit for a little bit before you start working with it. If it's a fast drying acrylic, of course, work with it at your, however you look like it's curing. Now drag a little bit towards the cuticle to blend the nail. And we're doing the same thing, we're building the nail. And it's going to be even thicker because of the huge gap it has on the curve. And again, this is probably different for everyone. If you have a different method, that's good. If you've never seen this before and you think it's different, give it a try and see if it works. Everyone has their own methods. We're just showing you what we do, so, and what works for us. So as you can tell, it's super thick, but like I said, that's okay. We're going to file it, and that's going to change the whole look of it. And just build the nail. Keep the shape going and be consistent with making sure the nail is perfectly balanced. Now we're going to add another one. Make sure your client's hand is relaxed, because if it's stiff, it can make a big difference in the way you're working too. So we're dragging the bead towards the free edge. And if you guys see, all of this is going to be removed. So it's going to create a different shape. If you guys know, that's pretty much the reason why I built it to the amount of thickness and how it's built. Like I'm building it to that. You guys can see what I'm doing. Like I said, it looks crazy and everything, but once it's done, it's going to be really nice. And the thickness, I'm going to show you guys how thick the nail is, just so you guys can see. It's pretty darn thick, if you guys can tell right there. But again, we're going to file that off. We're just trying to eliminate that curve. So once they're filled, we're going to go ahead and file, shape, and we will be right back. Okay, once her nails have been dried and completely ready to be filed, I'm going to go ahead and grab my 100 180 grit file. And I'm going to show you guys pretty much the one that is the index finger, which is the most curved, and how to file. We're going to start off by the side wall. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing we did earlier. Removing, just filing straight. So you guys can tell that's exactly what I'm doing. Making sure her nail is pretty much holding her nail right here with your index finger. That way her natural nail will not feel like you're about to rip it off. And we're getting somewhere. You guys saw how it was earlier. And you can almost kind of point your file up a little bit. So that way you're creating like a straighter look, an illusion. You guys can already see the difference between the nail and her natural nail. And we're shaping it into a coffin as well. Same thing goes with the middle finger and everything, every other nail. We're gonna go ahead and file the bottom part of this. I always encourage you guys to do that because sometimes we forget that these little things exist. And we leave acrylic under there, and that is not good because then your client will start picking at it and then it's gonna be a hot mess. They're gonna mess up their nails. So just be careful to notice everything. And then always turn around their nails so you guys can see how the shape is going. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my carbide fine, medium or fine carbide drill bit. And we're gonna go ahead and file like we normally would, starting from the right to the left around the cuticle. And relax your head. And then just on top, side to side, eliminating this hump that we made. And the reason we created the hump is because of the curve. So now we're gonna go ahead and go down. And I'm filing at 12,000 RPMs per second, per minute, I mean. So it's low, but also, high, but not too high to where it's gonna burn or hurt your client. And where I'm not applying too much pressure on my end and letting the drill do the work. So now we're gonna go ahead and file underneath the nail like so. And I'm gonna manipulate their nail, move their hand around to where I can do this. And I'm just filing it so where I don't have a big, thick acrylic under there. And you can do this, but just be very careful. This is actually our safety carbide fine drill bit, which is perfectly fine for this because you don't cut your client. And yes, look at that. There is a huge difference already. I'm gonna do a little bit more just to eliminate the thickness, which is by going downward with your file. Make sure your cuticle area is nice and flushed. And then always make sure you're not burning your client. And if you need to go back with the file, go ahead and grab it and fix little things here and there. But this is the difference between the curve one and how you can make an illusion that she has a straight nail with acrylic. This is straight. This is natural balance, but see how it's not curving down anymore? That was created by the forms. And I'm still filing just because I've seen a little bit of an imperfection, but even the thickness of the nail is not thick because we eliminated it going this way. So that is your nail. Now we're gonna go ahead and file the rest and we will be right back. Alrighty guys, now that we have filed and filled her natural nails, which we kind of built and formed into a more of a balanced nail aside from curving, we are going to go ahead and do the design. And for the design, we're going to be using a nude. In this case, we're using this one. And we are going to be using this beautiful, beautiful glitter. We're going to be using this gorgeous glitter. And this is pretty much Galaxy Halo, and it's a chrome. We're going to be also using this nude. It's by Nail Addict. And we're going to be using a no wipe top coat for the chrome. As a base, we're going to start off by the nude, and we're going to go ahead and do one coat of it. And like I said earlier, we want to create a thin layer each time we put gel on because we don't want it to bubble up. Before doing this, we're actually going to go ahead and clean our our nail and our base with swipe or alcohol with our lint, our lint-free nail wipes. And you can purchase those online on our website. Now, let's go ahead and do one coat of the nude. And we're practically just going to do one coat because we just want to do a glitter full nail. And you guys are going to see they're going to be super beautiful and bright and holographic looking. So gently, thinly apply this. And be super careful towards the cuticle area because you do not want it to get on her skin. And then that way, even if it does, you can always clean it up. But if we can avoid it, we shall. This is a gorgeous nude that goes with almost every skin tone. And it's pretty light. That's why I'm using it, because I don't want anything to overpower the glitter. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and learned the tips and tricks on how to achieve how to transform a curvy nail into a natural looking nail with forms. Okay, once her hand is out of the LED lamp and cured for 30 seconds, we're gonna go ahead and apply our non-wipe chrome top coat. And there's many brands, which it's totally up to you. We're just gonna do one coat of it, cure it for a minute, and then apply the chrome powder on top. And this is just a very, she loves the nude already, but we're actually gonna go more of a bold look, which is glitter, just because glitter is always nice, and it's a nice way to start the year with a very shiny, beautiful, glitterful nail. And the glitter that I'm using is not tacky. It's gonna make it look, it's very, very nice. You guys are gonna see in a little bit what I'm talking about. And make sure you seal the free edge when you do any color, top coats, base, all. If you guys have any comments down below, I'll make sure to answer them. Questions on anything or videos you guys would like to see next. Alrighty, so let's just make sure these are all nicely topped. Now we're gonna go ahead and put those in there for a minute. Okay, now after our top coat has been cured, we're gonna go ahead and add the glitter, which is the favorite part, but it can be very messy, so be careful. We're gonna grab some glitter and our little spoolie or whatever you want to use for your chromes. You can use this, you can use the actual brush for it. This is actually an eyeshadow brush that works very well, but look how gorgeous this glitter is. It is beautiful, and like she said, it's stunning. Who wouldn't want this? This is gorgeous. Looks like a unicorn. No, more like not a unicorn. Just gorgeous colors. After we applied them on all of them, looks like a hot mess. We're gonna go ahead and clean them up a little bit with a brush. Just dust off the excess glitter that we have on top of the nails and top it off with another coat of top coat. Same top coat goes on top of this. And make sure you have a special top coat for your chromes and your glitters, because your top coat will be full of glitter at the end of the day. So that's another tip, to have two top coats, one for your glitters and one for your regular colors, because you do not want to mix the two. And that is it for our tutorial, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this and learned from it, of course. This was definitely a challenging little tutorial, but within practice, you will get better every time. If you guys would like to see any other videos, don't forget to comment down below what you guys would like to see next. Other than that, we hope you like and subscribe and share to others. And until then, we will see you in our next video. Goodbye.